Hey, how you doing? This is Preacher Man R&B, and this is another movie reviews. This time I'm reviewing Faster, and this is another Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie, and this is the second movie of Wrestlers Month. And what Wrestlers Month is, I'm reviewing 14 weeks of Wrestlers movies that they're starting. And this is the second one of Wrestler Month, and it's the second Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie I'm reviewing. And what happens on this is it's about this guy, and in this movie it doesn't have names for these characters. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character is signified by Driver, and that's what pops up when they first introduce Dwayne the Rock's character in this movie. And what happens is he's in prison because he helps his brother with a bank job, and what happened to his older brother Driver wasn't able to do the job with him, so he got his brother, who's played by The Rock, to help him. And he volunteered to do this for his brother. Now, after they do the job, they are set up by Billy Bob Thornton's character, and we don't find this out to the end of the movie. And Billy Bob Thornton's character is a cop that's after this case, and when this movie's going on, when they first introduce Billy Bob Thornton, we just think he's the detective on the case. And what's really going on is he's trying to stop The Rock from killing all these people because he doesn't want The Rock to come after him, because he's the one that set up The Rock in this movie. So after this happens, Dwayne Johnson gets out of jail. In the beginning of the movie, he gets his car, and then he goes to the guy that got the names for him, for the people who killed his brother and tried to kill him. And the first guy on the list is his telemarketer, and when The Rock goes in there, the telemarketer sees him, and he jumps up and recognizes him, and Dwayne Johnson shoots him square in the head and then leaves. Now, after this, Billy Bob Thornton goes in and to the crime scene where his partner is, and she tells him what's going down, and then they watch the surveillance camera. And what they find out is that the telemarketer recognized The Rock's character whenever he saw him, because he didn't see the gun initially because the cubicle was blocking the gun. And then when he stepped up, The Rock shot him point blank in the head. Now after this, like I said, The Rock goes to the guy who got the list of names, and The Rock gets the names, and the guy tries to raise the price on him, and The Rock tells him he's not going to do that, and the guy gets his bodyguard, who is Samoan, to go to take care of The Rock. And whenever the Samoan guy sees the tattoo on The Rock's forearm, he says, "You're the ghost," and then he runs off and he says, "I'm not dealing with no ghost." And The Rock got this tattoo while he was in prison because everybody tried to kill him in prison, and every time he survived and killed somebody who tried to kill him, he got this tattoo. Excuse me. And after this, he gets the list of names, and then he goes to the second guy on this, who is a molester, and he's the guy who videotaped the film of The Rock and The Rock's brother in this movie getting killed. And we find this out after the detective that's working with Billy Bob Thornton's character finds this film. And they go and watch the film, and it shows everybody who was part of this. And then The Rock goes to this molester's apartment where he's about to molest this young girl, and The Rock breaks down the door and shoots him. The girl asks The Rock not to hurt her, and Dwayne Johnson walks out and tells her he's not going to hurt her. Now after this, there's this hitman that's been after Dwayne The Rock Johnson's character this whole time. So he starts shooting at The Rock, and they have a shootout, and The Rock winds up getting away. And after this, he goes after, I'm trying to remember which one he goes after next. He goes to this woman's house, and at first I thought he was going to kill this woman when I first ever watched this movie, but we find out that this is his ex-girlfriend, and he asked her, is the boy his, and she told him to do the math that the boy was 8, and when The Rock has been in jail for 9 years, so it wasn't his. and he asked what happened to his, and she says she got rid of it and had an abortion. So The Rock leaves, and as The Rock's leaving, she says she hopes that he kills each and every one of them. So The Rock goes to the next person on the list, who's a bodyguard at a strip club. So he goes after this guy, and he can't take his gun in with him, so he has to go and get pat down by the other security guard because the guy he's after is distracted with a woman at the door. So he goes in after him and follows him to the restroom, and the security guard tells the restroom attendant to leave, and whatever happens, whoever leaves this room, you didn't see anything. And the old man, bathroom attendant leaves, and The Rock got this ice pick, and the bodyguard got this bowie knife. The Rock winds up killing this, stabbing this bodyguard, and he's thinking he's dead, and before The Rock thinks he's dead, the bodyguard asks him to call his son and tell his son that he's sorry. And The Rock does that, and then after this, The Rock listens to the radio, and the news tells that the bodyguard's still alive, that he's going to make it. So The Rock does a U-turn after he calls the guy's son and tells him that his dad said he's sorry, and he hung up, and he calls him again. And then he says hello, and then The Rock flashes back to what happened to his brother and turns around and goes back after this guy and kills him in the hospital. Well, after this, The Rock and Billy Bob Thornton's character have a shootout, and The Rock lets him go. And this is when we find out that Billy Bob Thornton is the guy who is behind this, because this is when Billy Bob Thornton finds out that he doesn't know about Billy Bob Thornton being involved with this. So after this, Rock calls this kid again, and the kid calls him back, and the kid says he's going to kill him for what he did to his father. And The Rock says, you better be sure, because it's a dark road that you're going to start going down. So The Rock's character goes to the next guy on the list, and we find out, and The Rock, this whole time The Rock's been listening to this preacher on the radio, and preaching a sermon about forgiveness and hatred and all this, and come to find out that this preacher is one of these guys. So The Rock goes to this tent revival where the preacher's preaching. And the preacher sees him when The Rock walks into the tent, and then he finishes up his sermon, and they talk at the preacher's office, and the preacher is telling him that he knows that he was coming and that he's sorry for what he did, but he says the bad things he did during that moment helped him to meet the Lord, because after that happened, the preacher, before he was a preacher, he went and bought drugs with his cousin money and used it on girls, and wound up in prison. And in prison, he got saved and surrendered into ministry and became a pastor. And The Rock and this pastor goes and walks, and The Rock's about to kill him, and the pastor asks him to forgive him, and The Rock says he can't. And then before The Rock's about to kill him, the pastor's singing, and then he prays to God to forgive The Rock for doing what he's about to do, and to help him with his hatred. That way he can get out of his heart. And The Rock winds up sparing the preacher and tells him to go to his family and continue what he's doing. So The Rock's about to leave, and he's sitting at the tent, and he puts his gun down in his brother's picture, and he gets, it doesn't say it in the movie, but he gets saved in this tent. You can tell, if you're a Christian, you know that this is the moment that Rock's character got saved in this movie. And the hitman shows up and is about to kill him, and Billy Bob Thornton comes and tells him to put his gun down, or he's going to die. And then after this, Billy Bob Thornton shoots The Rock in the head, tells the hitman to get out of there. They have some dialogue, and then Billy Bob Thornton is calling his wife, who was The Rock's brother's ex-girlfriend, who informed on The Rock and his brother. And that's how the setup happened. And after this, The Rock comes and shoots Billy Bob Thornton in the back of the head, and he's just about to die, and then The Rock shoots Billy Bob Thornton's character and kills him. And after this, the rest of the cops come, and by this time, Billy Bob Thornton's partner got the facts showing that all these people was Billy Bob Thornton's informants, and she decides to keep it in her pocket and not show her CO, and that's the end of the movie. And at the end of the movie, The Rock dumps his brother's ashes. And that's really all that happened on this movie. If y'all ever watched Faster, y'all tell me what y'all like about this movie. As always, it's Prince Man R&B signing out. That's Reeves.